and the Atlantic Ocean. In the middle of this photo, we see a colored triangle. This is the base of the Rock of Gibraltar. We can observe a color partition between the two bodies of water, although the naked human eye cannot perceive it in nature. This has become possibly by means of satellite photography and remote sensing techniques. This photograph here was taken by a satellite utilizing the special thermal characteristics of the various water bodies, and it is for this reason that the seas show up with different colors. For example, we here see light blue, dark blue, and black. Other bodies of water show a greenish color. The different colors represent the difference in temperatures of the sea surface. However, as we all know, these oceans and seas will simply appear as blue in color to our eyes. These are partitions which can only be seen and perceived by scientific research and modern technology. Traditionally, there have been two major interpretations of this verse. One opinion states that according to the literal meaning of the term maraja, in this verse, he that let loose the two seas which meet each other, yet between them is a barrier which they overpass not. Seas do meet and mix with each other, but the fact that the Quran goes on to state that there is a barrier between them means that this barrier will simply prevent the seas from the encroaching upon each other or flooding over each other. Proponents of the second opinion ask, how can there be a barrier between the seas so that they do not encroach upon each other, while the verse indicates that the seas meet together? They concluded that the seas do not meet and sought another meaning for the term maraja. But now modern science provides us with enough information to settle this issue. The seas do meet together, as we have seen, for example, in the picture of the Mediterranean and Atlantic Ocean. Even though there is a slanted water barrier between them, we now know that through the barrier, the water from each sea passes to the other. But when the water from one sea enters the other sea, it loses its distinctive characteristics and becomes homogenized with the other water. In a way, this barrier serves as a transitional homogenizing area for the two waters. This is an excellent example of Islamic modern scientific research. Modern techniques can thus be used to prove the inimitability of the Quran. We discussed this verse with Professor Hay, and then we asked him the following question. What is your opinion of this phenomenon, namely, that you have in your possession now texts which have been revealed 14 centuries ago, and which describe in minute detail secrets of the universe unknown at that time simply because the techniques and the equipment were not available?
I find it very interesting that this sort of information is in the ancient scriptures of the Holy Quran, and I have no way of knowing where they would come from. But I think it is extremely interesting that they are there and that this work is going on to discover the meaning of some of the passages.
Then you have flatly denied to be just, from a man or human source. From who then do you think the original or the source of such information?
Well, I would think it must be the divine being.
Truly, this is divine knowledge which Allah sent in order to support the message of the Prophet Muhammad, who said, each prophet has been given something to make his people believe in him, but I have been given a revelation from Allah, and I hope that I will have the greatest number of followers on the day of judgment. This revelation contains its own miracle and stands as a proof for humanity until the last hour.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويرى الذين أوتوا العلم الذي أنزل إليك من ربك هو الحق ويهدي إلى صراط العزيز الحميد صدق الله العظيم.
I have no difficulty in my mind reconciling that this is a divine inspiration or revelation which led him to these statements.
We present to you Professor T.V.N. Persaud, who is the head of the Department of Anatomy at the Medical School of the University of Manitoba in Canada. Professor Keith Moore introduced him to us, and he thinks that there are free-minded scholars and scientists whose main preoccupation is searching for the truth. Professor Persaud is one of those. He is well known in his field and has authored several books on obstetrics. He also includes in these books some Quranic verses and prophetic ahadith. And he also presented these verses and ahadith at several conferences which he attended. He wrote several researches. One of them concerns a hadith of Prophet Muhammad, which says, if 42 nights have passed over the conceptus, Allah sends an angel to shape it and create its hearing, vision, skin, muscles, and bones. Then the angel asks, O Lord, male will it be or female? And Allah decides what he wills. This picture shows a fetus in the 35th day, which does not take a human form. And the following picture shows the same fetus in 42nd day. So far, Dr. Persaud says, we cannot discern a human shape. We see this illustrative picture made by Siba depicting the fetus in the 42nd day. 1 week later, during the 7th week, immediately after 42 days, the picture is completely changed as we see here. The prophetic hadith in this respect says, if 42 nights have passed over the conceptus, Allah sends an angel to shape it and create its hearing, vision, skin, muscles, and bones. Dr. Persaud presented many researches concerning the relationship between both the Quran and the Sunnah and modern science. The following is another hadith which Professor Persaud studied and made it the subject of one of his presentations. If lewdness exists among people and then appears as a common and open practice, plagues and new diseases which did not exist before will spread among them. Let us listen to Professor Persaud's explanation of this hadith.
Widely accepted that these malignant changes in the uterine cervix are related to the age of the women, frequency of intercourse, and the number of partners. Several epidemiological studies have clearly indicated a significant correlation between exposure to multiple sexual partners and a higher incidence of cervical carcinoma. The consequences and dangers of promiscuous sexual relationships and deviant sexual practices have been expressed in this hadith some 1400 years ago. Could I have the next slide, please? And I hope it is correct. The lewdness